Bulls back tonight in the battle of the balls against the Hornets. Excuse my voice, I've had that virus going around for the last week, so it's a little raspy, it's a little rough, but we power through, man. Here's 5 keys to victory for the Chicago Bulls tonight. Key number 1, let LaMelo shoot. LaMelo, he's kind of my litmus test for how much you really know basketball. If you're going to tell me LaMelo Ball is the best point guard in the NBA, or LaMelo Ball is a top 10 player in the NBA, or you love LaMelo Ball, I'm going to assume you don't know ball that well. You don't know hoops that well. Because LaMelo Ball, man, he's the classic. He's that dude where he's going to put up big numbers. He's not going to make your team any better. In fact, the bigger his numbers are, the worse his team is. This year, he's averaging 30 points a game. Some people call that impressive. He's taking 22 shots a game. That's not very efficient. He's shooting 42% from the field. He's shooting 33% from 3. When you let LaMelo Ball cook, that's an easy way for you to win. If you're the opposing team. If LaMelo Ball is doing his thing and he's taking step back threes and one-legged shit, you're probably going to win as the opposing team. So the Bulls tonight, there's some people I've seen them, they're like, man, our defense sucks. We got to try to figure out a way to contain LaMelo. No way, man. No way. Don't send help. Let him do his thing. Let him get comfortable. Let him freeze his other teammates out, do the heliocentric thing. Let him shoot 30, 40 shots tonight. Easy way for the Bulls to win. Key number 2, Nikola Vucevic versus Mark Williams. If there was one player I could save from the dumpster fire that is the Charlotte Hornets, it would be Mark Williams. Brandon Miller's a close number 2. I wasn't a big fan of his coming out of school, but he's kind of proven me wrong in the pros. He's a nice player. My concern with Brandon Miller is he's fallen in love with the three-point shot. He doesn't find his spots in the mid-range, and he doesn't attack the rim, so he doesn't get to the free throw line. And he's not a good three-point shooter. He's shooting like 30% this year from 3. So he's kind of the new analytical basketball player where even though you're not a good three-point shooter, you're still told to chuck up as many as you can because that's how the game's played these days. I'm not going to go on my old head rant about that, but Mark Williams, man, I love Mark Williams' game. If I could save one guy from the Hornets, it'd be him. He's big, he's athletic, he protects the rim, he rebounds, he's got a little bit of a bag on offense, he knows his role on offense. The dude's nice. It's going to be a handful of a matchup for Nikola Vucevic tonight. He is exactly the type of center that Vuce struggles against. Key number 3, the backcourt bench. We already know the script for tonight. We already know how this is going to go. The Bulls are going to come out the gates. They're going to be slow. They're going to be sluggish. There's going to be a lot of defensive mistakes by Josh Giddey. There's going to be a lot of turnovers by Kobe White. And then the backcourt's going to come in, the real backcourt, our best backcourt. Lonzo Ball and Ayo Dosunmu, they're going to give us the energy. They're going to give us a boost. They're going to get us back in the game, get us the lead. We already know the script. We've seen this a million times. I think our bench backcourt is better than our starting backcourt. And it would surprise a lot of you guys. I'm actually a huge Kobe White fan. I have been since his North Carolina days. You can go in my archives. I was saying pay Kobe White before anybody else was. I was begging for him to get opportunities. I love Kobe White. And that comes out in a very critical way. If I'm a fan of you as a player, it's because I see something in you. I see a next level you can get to. I see your potential. And then I expect you to get there. I have high expectations for the guys that I like. So I'm not one of those guys who, if I like somebody, I just ignore all their flaws. There's a lot of people like that out there. I'm not like that. I'm quite the opposite, actually. If I like you, I'm usually very critical of you. And Kobe White, he's been disappointing this year. He's taken a massive step back, and he's been disappointing. There is another level for him to reach. I don't know if he's ever going to reach it, though. So our backup backcourt, though, man, if Lonzo didn't have a minutes restriction, he'd be a 36-minute-a-night guy. He'd be one of the most impactful guards in the league. So we already know the starters are going to come out slow. Can the off-the-bench backcourt, Lonzo Ball, Ayo Dosunmu, can they come in and can they fix it? Key number 4, Julian Phillips and Modest Buzelis. I need to see those guys playing more minutes than Patrick Williams. The Patrick Williams thing, man, I feel bad for the kid. People use his age. He's 23 or 24 years old. But this is his 5th year in the league, guys. If you're still a Patrick Williams defender and you still think there's another level for him to reach, I don't know, man. What excuses are you using at this point? Because for a long time, you guys were saying it was DeMar DeRozan's fault. DeMar DeRozan ain't here, and Patrick Williams is playing worse. So I don't know what excuses you're going to use. All I know is that for the last 2 weeks, Modest Buzelis and Julian Phillips have been outplaying Patrick Williams. So I won't be mad at all if one of them is in the starting lineup over Pat tonight. Either way, I need to see more minutes out of those two than I do out of Patrick Williams. It's all mental with Patrick Williams right now. Usually with the mental stuff, the more minutes you give a guy, the more they'll get in a rhythm, the more they'll get out of that mental funk. It's been the opposite with Pat. It's only getting worse. So I don't know what to do. All I know is I need to see a lot of Modest Buzelis and a lot of Julian Phillips tonight and not a lot of Patrick Williams. And the last key number 5, Zach LaVine, man. It's always going to be Zach LaVine. I need Zach LaVine to be aggressive. I need him to look for his offense. In his last 6 games against the Hornets, he's playing down to the competition. He's averaging 14 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 40% from the field, 30% from 3. He's not getting to the free throw line against the Hornets. He's been terrible against the Hornets. The Bulls, man, they play down to the competition, and that starts at the top. That starts with your best players. Zach LaVine traditionally plays down to the competition. Against the G League Atlanta Hawks roster they threw out the other night, Zach LaVine didn't look like he really wanted to be out there. He only took like 12 shots. So I need Zach LaVine to be aggressive. I need him to set the tone. If you're going to make $50 million a year, man, this is what you got to do. You can't just show up against the Boston Celtics and, the elite teams of the league. You need to use these smaller teams. You need to show up with the same intensity. So those are my 5 keys to victory tonight. Let me know what you guys think in the comments and what your prediction is for the game.